Okay, so I'm back. I've got a pretty clean palette again, brush and clean water. So I need to mix my last two colors because I can see they're starting to look really good. The yellow green, the blue green, even my red orange is coming out pretty nice. All right. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to get some water in the upper tray because I cleaned this tray off. I'm going to put some over here. Let's put some in the middle too. Just lay some water in there so that way I've got some stuff to move around. So let's investigate what I have to do next. Looks like red violet and blue violet. Okay, red violet and blue violet are my next keys. Okay, my next major ones. So I'm going to first off get some red, a little bit of red, drop it over here. Boom. Rinse my brush, always, always rinse the brush. Okay, now I'm going to use one of these little rags here to wipe it off really good. All right, so now I need violet. So next to blue, that should be violet right there. Ooh, violet's very, very powerful. It almost looks black. It's so dark. I'm going to drop some water in there too. That's a little heavy. So notice how I separated those two because I know they're very, very powerful colors. So even look how much my water has just changed from me just cleaning off just from that little bit of violet. So what I'm going to do now is start with try to get a blue violet or red violet. Oh, I've got to get some blue in there. Let's get some blue right over here. Just a hint of blue. All right, rinse the brush. Never touch this part here with a dirty brush, okay? All right, clean, clean, clean. So I'm going to start with a little bit of red here. Drop some here. Wipe my brush. Rinse, rinse. Get a little bit of this violet and drop it here. Start mixing those two. Let's see what's going to happen. So as I mix that, I can tell already that that is definitely more red than this violet. And that's definitely more violet than that red. So I might use that. If I'm going to do that, I'm going to blot my brush first. Red violet. I'm going to go in here and soak some of this paint up. Get a real good soak on it. Then come in here and start adding my red violet. It is very, very watery. So what's going to happen is water's going to set on there until I can get it even all the way around. As I look at it, I think I don't like it that much. That's okay. It's my prerogative, my color wheel. I'm going to take a hint of this red and drop some more in there and see if I can't redden it up a little bit more. Grab a little bit more of this red. Really soak up into that paintbrush and run a little bit more on there. See if I can push that a little farther. Let's see what happens. I think it's going to work a little better now. And remember, the key to watercolor is it is water. Some people use more water, some people use less. It's all just a way of practicing with the techniques, all right? So I'm going to leave that right there and let that dry out a little bit, and I might come back and check it out. But right now, I can see my blue-green is definitely a color that I like the best. So let's hit blue-violet. So I've got some blue, I've got some violet, and I've got actually a clean spot to my tray over here. Make sure you don't accidentally touch that. So I got a little bit of violet. And now I'm going to drop in a little bit of this blue. Well, my blue's not very strong, so I might have to go back and pull from the primary, from the base. So let's go wipe this off, and I'm going to grab some of the blue, some of the strong, strong blue from up here. Just add a little bit in there. These colors are tricky. They go dark really, really fast. So I'm not going to use any more of this because I'm just going to pull from my practice palette here. Play a little bit back and forth, see what I'm liking, see where I'm going with this. That's feeling more, it's definitely feeling more blue, violet than blue. It's definitely looking more play around with that. Let's see what happens. Now, keep going with that. Soak some of this up and drop another dose on there. Lead some in, see where it's going. Let's have a little fun with this. Play around. What happens when you lay some color on top of color? Now, if it was cleanup time, I'd have to be real careful not to just pick this paper up and turn it sideways, because I've got a lot of color pooling on there, a lot of water that's pooling on that watercolor. So I want to make sure, I'm going to quit using my brush real quick, let's put it in the upright position. I want to make sure that this stays perfectly flat until I need to put it away, because as soon as I pick it up, water here and there is going to rush around. Oh, see how it's floating? It'll float around on you, and then you're kind of like, oh no, what am I going to do? So we got to be very, very careful how it's going to bleed and how it's going to move. Sometimes that's actually a cool technique that you can use, like creating drips, bleeds and stuff like that on the paper. It kind of creates a fun little technique. What we want to do right now, before we do anything, is make sure that we're kind of looking at this and going, red, yellow, blue. Got it. Orange, green, violet. Got it. Now, this yellow-orange needs to look more orange than the yellow and look less like orange and more like yellow-orange. So as I'm going through, I'm double-checking, and I've got a pretty smooth transition here. Your color palette might look a little bit different. If it does, don't worry about it. We're still going to practice and play with this. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start cleanup. So that way, we can see the end product in a little while. And then from there, we can start doing this on your own. Okay, so hey, let's get creative, all right?